Hello, everybody, and welcome to Minecraft Basics, Season 1, Episode 4, I believe. So, as you all are aware, we just had the 1.18 update about a month and a half ago now, on November 30th. With that update came some big generation changes. The biome we're standing on being one of them. This is a Stony Peaks, and it actually spawns in at 189 at its tallest point. But rather than talk about biome changes and all that, we are here to talk about ore generation changes. Before 1.18, ores were somewhat straightforward. You had the same generation pretty much, except for gold, throughout the entire chunk border from level to level. With the new 1.18 update, that has changed, and we are going to discuss how. So, some color guidelines before we start. Coal is going to be anything in black. Iron ore is anything in brown. Copper ore is anything in orange. Gold is anything in, yellow. Blue, lapis lazuli, lime, emerald, red, redstone, and our light blue is emerald over here. So let's get started. So first, clear up here at the top, we have our regular generating coal. And this is coal that does not change based on level or air exposure. We have it starting clear up here at 256, highest in the world. If you have a mountain that generates clear into this heavens at 256, 255, can I actually place that? Yep. 256, the highest that the world will generate. You can find coal up there. Now, coal, that unending supply of coal that is not changed by any of external factors like that, only goes clear down here to Y137, 136 area. That means coal is going to generate high in your world. And you are going to have to look high in your world to find it. As you can see, we've got a whole bunch of coal. We've got a big coal deposit there. We've got a bigger coal deposit there. If you're looking past my glass and everything. We've got a big coal deposit there. We've got a huge deposit over here. You can see where it even expands out there. Coal is going to be very popular high in the game. High in your world. Now, right here, about Y192, clear down to Y0, I do believe, clear down here. You are going to find coal, but in less large chunks. It's not going to generate in as clearly, as big of chunks. As you can see, even as we came down, there wasn't as much coal down here. And it will go clear as far as this right here, Y0. But if it is exposed to air, if you are in a cave or something like that, you're not going to see it as much because that is the the less air exposure zone. With your strongest points in our triangle, because this one is the triangle, so imagine the triangle. This is your sweet spot. Y96. That is going to be your sweet spot where the most coal is going to generate outside of the chunks up there at the top. And that is going to be our coal. On to our next one. We have iron, which I forgot a piece for iron. So let's go ahead and add it in real quick because I completely forgot about it. So, next we have iron. So you're going to have your regular generating iron actually down pretty low in your world. Well, not low, I guess. I'm thinking 150 up there as middle of your world, but about random generation is starting generation is actually going to be right here at Y72. This is where iron is going to start usually generating in that standard rate per chunk that we're used to, and that is going to go clear down to Y64 or Y negative 64, clear down there at the bottom. Now then we get to our two ion triangles. So from around about Y negative 24 in here to clear up to Y about 56, you're going to have that iron triangle where you're going to get more iron ore, with Y16 right here being your sweet spot. Next we have copper, who unfortunately does not have a chunk spawn rate that is solid for a good while. Instead, we only have our copper triangle, which is of course doubled in dripstone caves, or in dripstone caves. I do believe it's dripstone caves. Yep, dripstone caves only, and that goes clear from Y negative 16 right here up to, and we aren't going to go all the way up to the top, but Y112 clear up at the top. And that just means that anywhere in this triangle you can find copper, with your sweetest spot right here about Y48. Now, copper and iron have one thing that has been added into 1.18, which I actually didn't hear a whole lot about, and so when I came across it in my survival let's play, kind of surprised me. I mean, I'd heard of the copper veins and the large iron veins, but I hadn't really understood what they were until I started actually playing in game. So when 1.17 got introduced, we got a whole bunch of new blocks. One of those blocks was the raw copper block and the block of raw iron. Now, in 1.18, and I have come across it, you can run into what is called large ore veins. And for iron, that is from right here, from about Y59, Y60 up to 0 for iron, and then for copper from Y0 up to about Y48. And what that's going to look like is you're going to have maybe something like this. And that is literally just about what I had generate, but with copper. And it's going to actually have those raw copper, raw iron blocks in there. So, if you catch one of those, it's pretty awesome. Because that's an additional, you only mine one block and you get 9 pieces. So, again, that is going to be this section right here. And for iron, that is going to be negative 60 to Y about negative 4. Right about here. Negative 8, negative 4, somewhere in here. It's going to stop. And with that for copper, from about Y0, Y4 up to Y about 48. Despite having a raw gold block, we do not have the same opportunity for golds, unfortunately. Maybe they're going to add that into the nether in a later update. Maybe we're going to see that in some nether gold, or maybe we might see this in the wild update. Maybe we'll get gold veins in the wild update. But gold, which is our yellow bar right here, and our standard generating chunks is actually actually from 0 or negative 64 up here to negative 48. So we've got a small chunk right here where it's going to regularly generate in. And then we have our triangle here of reduced air exposure but chance of more generation in a chunk, and that is going to be negative 64 clear up to Y24, with our sweet spot going to be about Y negative 16, about right here. And that is, of course, unless you are in a Badlands biome, where then you can get a chance clear from that level 32 right here up to 256. Next, we have our lapis lazuli block, which we're going to find from up here at Y64, clear down to bedrock, negative 64, in our standard generating chunks. Now, we do have a chance at Y0 having almost double that, but lapis, and this is the only one that has that in that triangle for lapis lazuli, is no air exposure. If it is exposed to air in any of this, it will not generate. Kind of disappointing, but that's what we're seeing on the chart. So, in any of this, if it is exposed to air, if you are in a cave, it is not going to generate. Now, if it is a standard chunk, maybe. But in any of these extra chunks from the triangle, you are not going to get it. Then we get on to emeralds, which of course are mountainous biomes only. I believe we have one over there. And that is going to be anywhere from y negative 16 on up. The higher up in the world you are, the greater the chance of you having it, with it peaking out at like y 232 or something at the top. You can't really tell where the peak of that triangle is because it is such a large area. But that is our emeralds. And then we have two ores left. We have our redstone ore, which is of course going to be from negative 64 up here to about y12 right in through here. And that is going to be your regular generating. And you'll have more chances of generation starting at y negative 32, with the greatest chance of generation down here at y negative 64, as the triangle peaks there. Last but not least, we have our diamonds, which will now generate from y16 clear down to bedrock still, but with the bedrock being clear down to negative 64, with your triangle peaking at negative 64, as you can see by here. And that is going to be our explanation of ore generations for the 1.18 update. If you like this brief explanation of our new ore generation, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe, and perhaps even subscribe. If you like this video, go ahead and try checking out one of my playlists. I've got a survival let's play. I've had several in the past, but I'm hoping this one goes a little bit farther. And I even just started a hardcore world, so maybe check out that if that's more your style. In any case, thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next Minecraft day.